Diane in Denmark here, and hooray, hooray, hooray. I don't have my pom-poms with me, but you just need to imagine them. Happy Thursday. It's May the 16th, and Thursday, as we call it in Denmark, is Little Friday. Anyway, a quick check-in with you today, and we've got lots to cover. I'm going to be talking about our 31 days of exercise challenge. That's the main thing. But also, Denmark is a hive of activity today. And I'll be talking about what we will be eating tonight, another Danish holiday tomorrow, another Danish thing to eat. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. Best place to start. I uploaded a video yesterday with my clothes swap haul. This is one of the blouses that you saw in the video, and I'm feeling very swish today. Also, I'm doing a bit of an 80s vibe. Where I've just been down for a swim with Vibeke and Helena, and we were talking about 80s colours are coming back, and I'm wearing my what we call in Danish gulerod bukser, which are called carrot trousers, because they're kind of quite big here, and then they taper down, and I've put a wee bow belt on mine today. Anyway, when I made the video yesterday, I told you that one of the items, right at the end, I told you one of the items, the blouse, it had a small mark on it, a small stain. And I washed it yesterday, and look at that, what did I use? Just a wee bit of Vanish. I sprayed it with Vanish, and then I put it through just a normal wash here. I always wash things cool, so it's like 30 degrees. And look at that. No, so, and I air dried it. I just hung it up. I always hang things up on hangers to dry, unless it's sweaters. If you've got something woolen, a woolen jumper, dry those flat, because somebody asked me about that yesterday. Always dry your wool things flat. You can put them like on top of a towel or on top of your air dryer thing. But I just hung this up on a hanger, hung outside to dry, and look at that, it seems to also be one of those materials that this hasn't even been ironed, so look at that. Woo! So everything's good. I wanted to check in with you today. Thursday in Flylady Land is errand day. I actually ran my errands yesterday because today in Denmark people are out shopping and everything's really busy, because tomorrow is another Danish statutory holiday, and tomorrow is called Flylady. And Flylady means Great Prayer Day, Big Prayer Day, I like to call it. And the Danes, I've mentioned this before, they won't be going to church. The Danes are not big churchgoers, but faith for us is a very kind of private thing, and we don't measure our faith in how many times you go to church a week. It's not like that here. We have the church is always there, but the Danes aren't big churchgoers. It's faith, as I said, is a private thing. And the holiday that we have tomorrow, statutory holiday, and it's always a Friday. It's something like 4 Fridays after Easter, something like that. Everything will be closed, but something that will be going on, there will be lots of confirmations going on. We have the Lutheran church here, and kids are confirmed usually when they're about 14, 15 years old. And they have a ceremony at the church. It's like a confirmation of their christening, of their baptism. And in Denmark, it's not like a confirmation in the Catholic Church. It's not like that at all. And I've talked about it before. But basically, they have the ceremony in the church, and then everybody's back to your house for a lunch, and there's speeches and songs. And it's to mark the kind of child coming into the realm of the grown-ups. It's to mark that, going from child to adult. And around in our area, and even at the back there are tents going up, marquees, because people, it's a huge thing in Denmark, confirmation for the kids. And you will have a party at home, and you will have a big lunch for all your grannies and aunties and family, and maybe some of your school friends. And it's a huge thing, and Vibeke said on her street there's like 3 marquees have gone up. So you either have it like at home, if you've got space enough to have it at home, or outside in the garden if you don't have a big enough house, because normally you would invite like 30 people, even more. Or you would have it in you know, a hotel, somewhere that can cater. So it's a huge thing in Denmark, and the confirmations take place either tomorrow, which is Big Prayer Day, or Christi Himmelfart. Yeah, I did say fart. That's Ascension. It's Christ's sky flight in Danish. Then, or Saturdays and Sundays from now going forward. So there's a lot going on, and I can see at the moment everybody's out buying beer and soda, and people are buying presents, because one of the big things about Danish confirmation is the kids get some kind of huge gift. And like when my husband, when he was confirmed, like when he was like 14, 15, it would be you'd get like a set of dictionaries or maybe a bike, something like that. And these days, fast forward to 2019, it'll be a MacBook or the latest iPhone or something like that. But a lot of people ask for cash, and they're saving up for something, for a trip or I don't know, camera equipment, something like that. And the average amount that the Danish child receives in monetary gifts, now hold on to your hats here, is something like, it's like £1,000 to £2,000. Now you'll need to convert that. It's like 10,000 krona. Like if you just Google 15,000 Danish krona into your currency, and then you'll be, what? So anyway, you can see it's a huge thing in Denmark. So everybody's kind of going mad with that at the moment, with all the confirmations. Anyway, the main point of the holiday tomorrow is called a Big Prayer Day. And it's a really old tradition. In Denmark, state and church are linked. I've mentioned that before. We pay something like 0.5% in tax to the state, and that goes to the upkeep of churches, paying the ministers, the pastors. And if you don't want to be a member of the church, then of course you don't need to pay the tax. You can opt out of it. But then of course you can't expect to go and get married there, have your child's confirmation in the church, that kind of thing. Okay, I've lost the plot now. What was I saying? Oh, hold on a minute. Okay, I remember now. So we all pay a bit of church tax, and this holiday. The holiday tomorrow, when things are closed here, all the council offices are closed, and everything comes to a standstill. It's a holiday which is left over, or which was kind of put together, should I say, about 400 years ago. 400 years ago in Denmark, they had so many religious holidays. I mean, now if you follow me on YouTube, you'll be saying like, not another Danish holiday, because we follow the church calendar. So we've got Easter, and we've got Ascension, and we've got all the holidays, and everything closes down. But this one, Great Prayer Day, 400 years ago, we had a lot of different holidays. Like there were so many like saints' days and stuff. It was a kind of leftover from the Roman Catholic church days. And they decided, like about 400 years ago, they would put them all together. Instead of having all these like minor saints being celebrated, they would put them all together, and they came up with Great Prayer Day. So there you go, that's what it comes from. And nowadays, Store Day will be day for confirmations, or the Danes will take the opportunity to go off to their summer houses for the weekend. Everybody is outside gardening and building and doing DIY. So anyway, just a wee insight to that for you. And tonight, because it's Store Day tomorrow, the tradition is that you eat something, of course. There's always food involved in Danish traditions. And these are called viller. Now, I'll show you them here. You buy them at the supermarket, or you can buy them from the baker. if you are new to Denmark, do not wait until the last, until close of play today on Thursday to buy them, because you go to the baker and they'll be sold out. And if we're being honest here, they're not the most fantastic thing in the world to eat. The tradition was in the old days that you would buy these from the baker, and we're talking like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. You'd buy them from the baker, and it was something that you could keep and toast and reheat, because the baker would be closed the day after, for the actual holiday. And I'll open them up here. There's basically like a big fluffy bun. And they have, the only thing is when you open the packet, or get them from the bakers, these ones got a little bit squashed. Anyway, you can see, they've got a real smell of cardamom. There's lots of cardamom in them. And the Danes don't use a lot of cardamom. The Swedes are more into cardamom. But the Danes, you'll find cardamom in the villa. These are called big whites, villa. But actually comes from the word for wheat. They're wheat buns, villa. The Danes use cardamom for these and for äppelskiver, which a lot of you in the States know. You've taken that tradition to you from your ancestors. In the little Danish donuts, and I've made videos about how to make those. It's all in my recipes, or you can find them on my Danish playlist. And what you do with these, and they're really overpriced for what they are, because it's just basically a big soft bun. You would cut them in half. Well, I won't do that just now. I'll just show you inside. And you can see that they're not the healthiest. They're not like our rye bread. And what you do is normally you cut them in half and you toast them. And the best part, spread them with lots of butter, lots of teeth butter, and have them off with a cup of tea. So that's generally speaking what the Danes will be doing tonight. They'll be eating varme viller, hot buns with a cup of tea. And also, or you could heat them in the oven, do what you like. But we generally toast them. So there you go, a little bit of Danish tradition for you today. Anyway, on to what we're supposed to be talking about. Yesterday was Anti-procrastination Day in Flylady Land. I hope you got on well with your anti-procrastination tasks. I finished painting, woohoo, go me, the bench in the garden. I'll see if I can put a picture up on Instagram. And also when I was out, I did my errand shopping yesterday, because I don't want to be hitting the shops today, because as I said, everything is busy. Last chance to buy food for tomorrow. I actually got myself a new calendar, because I could see when I've been doing my plan and play day, I'm coming to the end of my calendar. I use a calendar that runs for the school year. So it runs from July to June. Instead, I hate changing calendars in January, because when we get the dates from the school, we get the dates for the whole school year, and I know all the school holidays, I plot them in straight away. So anyway, I picked up my new calendar, and you don't need to look for this one, and don't ask about it, because it's Danish, it's all in Danish, and it's got all the Danish holidays in it. Oh, yeah, anyway, so I got that. So go me for doing my anti-procrastination day tasks. And checking in with you for our 31-day exercise challenge. What did I do yesterday? Let me think. And we're on to day 16. Yesterday I did a lot of walking, because I was I was running errands, and I actually parked my car a wee bit further away and gotten some extra steps. So go me for that. I also did the 7-minute strength app, where you're doing abdominal crunches. So I've done that, and I'll put a link to the app that I'm using. Remember, it doesn't need to be the same link, the same app as I'm using, and you can use, just find any free app that you can get. And then last night I biked to the station, and then I was in town because I was meeting up with my friend Catherine for dinner. So I got extra steps walking in town, and I got an extra bike ride coming back from the station. And just a funny thing, I met Catherine, my friend Catherine from New Zealand, and we had a fantastic dinner in a place called Osteria 12. If you're coming to Denmark, a fantastic place. Anyway, I'll see if I can put some photos on Instagram. And I met Catherine at the restaurant, and she said, oh yeah, she'd been, I don't know, Skyping or messaging with her auntie who's in New Zealand. And her auntie said, oh yeah, well, have a nice dinner with Diane tonight. And Catherine was like, what? And she thought, Catherine's auntie, hello Catherine's auntie, watches my YouTube videos. And I think she had found me because of the videos I've been making about dressing your truth. And her auntie's been doing dressing your truth for years. And then when her auntie, Catherine's auntie, was on Facebook and was doing something, Catherine, you know, it pops up with, you know, who Catherine's friends are. And she was like, oh, that's Diane that I watch on YouTube. So anyway, just goes to show you it's a small world. Anyway, let me just check and see if I've missed anything else. No, and I think I covered it for today. So it's going to be a really busy day for us today. Also, it's the last day of school for many of the high school kids. They are now going on to exam leave, you know, where they're preparing for the exams. There's no official school any longer. So my son is out to a high school party tonight. There will be music going on around the streets tonight. So if you're in Denmark, you know what it is. When you hear the loud music going and people partying, it's because it's the last official day of school. And also, yeah, my daughter, her old class is meeting up. They haven't seen each other for a year, and they're coming here tonight. They're all coming here. They're coming here for dinner. And that's one of the things just to say again, about being consistent with the Flylady system. You know, at the drop of a hat, she could invite, I think there's like 16 or 17 people coming here for dinner tonight. And you know, I did my weekly home blessing hour on Monday. Everything, you know, there's nothing major that I have to do. I'm going to cut some fresh blooms from the garden. We'll check that the toilets are swish and swiped. But basically everything is ready to go. And that's what I want for you. I want you, you know, by following the Flylady routines, your morning routine, your evening routine, just that basic weekly home blessing hour, that you can, you know, your kids can feel like they can invite others into your home. You know, I've told you before, we've had high school parties for like 75 high school kids here, but it opens up, you know, so many possibilities for you, and just makes life easier and a bit more fun in your life. So anyway, on that note, I better get running, get this video uploaded, get my dishwasher unloaded. That's the last part of my morning routine. It was running when I came home after my skinny dip. So anyway, on that note, live long and prosper. Have a fun. May the Danish Big Prayer Day hygge be with you. And I shall see you on the other side. Okay, bye for now.